Hey, everybody. Listen, happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. I hope y'all had a good Saturday. I did. Listen, I had to run errands. You know, Saturday I run a lot of errands. I had to run some errands, do some things, do a little bit of shopping. I had to go a little bit of food shopping and do some other things. But I'm in the building. I had a good Saturday so far. I had a really, really good Saturday. And I hope y'all did too. And listen, guys, one thing we know for sure before I get into what tonight is about, we all know we have a birthday and we have an end date. And on that note, I'm going to say rest in peace to Angie Stone. Was in a car accident, don't know too many details from there, but only 63 years young and leaving behind 2 children, 2 grandchildren. That's why you got to enjoy your life every day. You want to go out to eat and you got the money, go out to eat. Want to go to the movies and you got money to go to the movies, go to the movies. You want to just lay on your couch and lay on your couch. Live your life. Have fun. Because we don't know our end date. So rest in peace, Angie Stone. I loved her music and I will continue to listen to her music. And my heart is broken. Her daughter posted, Mommy's gone. Very sad. But we're going to get into tonight's trending topics, and the title is called, Who Can You Trust? Who can you trust? So you got this man, legally blind. He was living in like a assisted type of facility place, like not assisted facility. Let me back that up. He was living in a place that catered to, the elderly, so to speak, and people with disabilities. And he told the people, listen, I can't see. So if there's something important you need me to know, you got to verbally tell it to me. Can't send it to me in a letter because I would have to wait till somebody can come and read it to me. So you got to verbally come tell me what it is you need me to know. He asked the people that. And he had a family member, a wicked family member. A wicked family member was paying his bills for him. Well, that family member didn't pay that rent for a whole year. You have got to be real wicked if you got a family member that trusts you to pay their bills and you stealing the money. Wicked. So they slapped an eviction notice on his door and said he got to go. And he didn't go to court because he didn't even know he was being evicted. He had no idea. Until they slapped the note on his door and he saw the sheriff's sign and he had somebody to read it to him. They say, oh, you getting evicted. They say, you got to go in 7 days. And he was like, what? He called somebody to help. They tried to help him. The judge reversed it, but the people like he already kicked out. It's a mess. All because that wicked family member was stealing the money instead of paying the bills. We're going to talk about it. Who can you trust? The next story, can you trust your own kids? Diddy kids are living status quo. They was used to living it up when daddy was out on the free world. Now he's locked up and they still living it up. He told the judge he would sell the private jet if they let him out on bond. Judge said no. So the kids said, well, we still got the jet. They get on it. They go flying. They've been to Miami. They've been all over. Exotic vacations, on yachts, shopping sprees. They living their best life while daddy is out there in Brooklyn fighting for his. When daddy come out, is there going to be any money left? I don't know. Who can you trust? Can you trust your own kids? To understand that life is not the same no more because daddy's locked up. We're going to talk about it. Then we got, you know what? It needs to be a whole show on teachers going wild. God, I'm grateful that my son is in college now. A lot of these middle school, high school, you got to be careful what school your kid goes to. In the middle school, some kid thought it was a good idea. Let's all get tattoos today. They brought a needle in from God knows where, and all of them started giving each other tattoos with the same needle. While the teachers was doing who knows what, but they wasn't paying attention. So then the school nurse had to call the parents who got the tattoos and said, take your kid to go get some blood work. Because this what had happened in the school today. Now, a whole bunch of teachers are suspended. Because how do kids sit there and give each other tattoos and no teacher stops this nonsense? Yeah, they got tattoos, little tattoos. Good thing they wasn't using permanent ink. A hot, stinking, filthy, nasty mess. Who can you trust? Well, at middle school, the parents can't trust the teachers because this happened under the teacher's watch. A hot, stinking mess. Listen, guys, y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Saturday Night Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called, Who Can You Trust? The man can't see. He trusted a family member, and the family member failed him, including the system. We got Diddy's kids living large, and we got the middle school giving each other tattoos. Tattoo madness. We're going to talk about it, y'all. Let me bring the people in the building. Hold on one second. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva, choo.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, Tay Tay.
Hello.
Hey, Katrina. Listen, guys, before we get into tonight's topic fully, I do want to take a moment and just, have a talk about life. You know, Angie Stone, lost her life just like that. 63. She was leaving a show and was in a horrific car accident. And I still looking for more stories on it, because some stories say other people died, some stories say she's the only one that died. So I'm gonna wait till tomorrow till everything flushes out to see exactly what happens. But I do want to go around to the panel for 1 second and just tell us anything about living your life, any tip you want to give, anything you want to say. In my opinion, you're up.
So life is short. And we have to make the best of the time that we have. Tell people that you care about them every day, because you never know when it's gonna be your last. And we have to stay prayed up, because in this world, in this time, we never know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, times have changed. It's not just you fighting with your body or your illness. You fighting with everything. So just remember to tell the people that you love them.
I appreciate you. Thank you. In my opinion, Felicia, anything you want to say?
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm going to say what I always say: be consistent, be the truth. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Felicia. Katrina, any thoughts?
Yes,
I like
exactly. Yes, you have to live day by day. You got to live each day to the fullest. Don't take bad things in. Don't go to sleep with bad things on your mind. Release all that energy. Um, when you're going to be with somebody, speak the truth. I mean, because truth brings in the light, the white light. Just know, because like I'm a person that knows that life can be taken in a matter of seconds, not minutes, but seconds. And you have to live your life to the fullest. Love people around you. Show kindness. Show empathy. Show sympathy. Just do what you have to do to get through this world. And don't forget that you can lean on people when you need help. If you need help, ask. You don't have to go around the tree about it. You don't have to perpetrate about it. You don't have to lie about it. You need something done, get it done. Because if people in your life that can't help you, then they don't need to be in your life at all. And just live your life the way you're supposed to live it. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Tay, any thoughts?
Always tell the person you love them every day, and God will watch it over you. If you have like a bad day or a good day, always pray to Him. Because no matter what, He always be there with you, no matter where you will be at. Right there. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Listen, everybody. I appreciate y'all when y'all spend time with me every night when I do trending topics. I truly appreciate it. And I actually enjoy doing my trending topic show, right? No matter what the topic is, no matter how any of us agree or disagree on the panel, I appreciate the thought process of everyone. And I enjoy being here and in this space. And, I'm grateful for YouTube. Without YouTube, I would never have this. And because of this, I have met, virtually a lot of great and amazing people. So I really do appreciate the platform, appreciate the people I met, and appreciate seeing a lot of the same faces in the chat. Because I see a lot of y'all support me day in and day out. And I truly, truly, really do appreciate it. And you just never know. And to the best of my ability, right? Because nobody's perfect. The people that are in my life, I really do my best to try to let them know how much I care about them, how much I love them, and how I'm grateful that, they are in my life. It's just a very, it just really touched me today and our daughter's, message. It was very short, but it broke my heart. Said, "Mommy's gone." It's just heart-wrenching because you just never know. A mother just went to go do a show and now she's not here. So rest in peace to Angie Stone and everybody out there. Do what you want to do. Be good to yourself also. Be good to yourself also. Because sometimes we beat ourselves up so bad, more than anybody else ever would. So be good to yourself, be good to others, and live your best life. Let me see, Lakeisha, let me see what you had to say. And let me bring Savannah. Diva, you have to live life. I couldn't come up because now I'm feeling sad. My grandmother died 2023, 12/30. Then my aunt 12/29, 2024. So random. And we just spoken to her. So my condolences, Lakeisha, and thanks for being in the chat. And I totally understand. Thank you for sending the love to me. Yes, so that be good to yourself. Savannah, thanks for coming through. We was just, mentioning that Angie Stone has passed, and just asked the panelists before I got into today's stories that any thoughts that you just want to say in general about life. I don't know if you can hear me, Savannah. All right. Can everybody else still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and roll right into our first story here. And our first story I want to get into is...
Hey, y'all. I'm late.
Hey, Julius. I want to get into this first story because this man who is legally blind trusted a family member to pay his bills, and the family member did him dirty. So let me go ahead and share screen. Okay, I think this is it. Let's go here.
Ticking for a legally blind man who could soon be on the street in Oakland. He was evicted from his affordable apartment for seniors after a family member allegedly took advantage of him. And even though a judge tossed out that eviction, his landlord argues they shouldn't have to let him back in. Here's investigative reporter Hilda Gutierrez. Hilda.
Gary Gilbert tells us he has nowhere else to go, and homelessness could be a death sentence. Now he's imploring the judge to force his landlord to let him go back home. For the past few weeks, this East Oakland motel has been Gary Gilbert's home. But Gilbert says his real home is here, an affordable housing complex for seniors called the Oakland Station. That is, until he was evicted.
I was shocked as hell. I was shocked and scared and everything all at the same time.
Shock, he says, because Gilbert believed his rent was being paid on time. He's legally blind with a host of other ailments and had been relying on a family member to make the rent payments. But the Oakland Station says they haven't been paid for more than a year.
I can't read documentation too good, and so I would have somebody else probably taking care of my affairs. I didn't know anything was going on.
The Oakland Station started eviction proceedings, but Gilbert says he was left in the dark. He says he had a standing request that his landlords communicate any important information verbally. But the eviction notices were in writing. Then a notice showed up with a large symbol on it that even he could recognize, a sheriff's star.
You know, I mean, I haven't broken the law or did anything, so I wonder what this is about. And took it and threw it on my table until I had somebody read it.
It was a notice to vacate within 7 days. His landlords had been awarded a default judgment since Gilbert, who says he didn't know he was being evicted, never responded in court. So he scrambled to find help.
Because Mr. Gilbert's disabilities are so severe and because the situation is so particular, I decided to jump on the case.
Maria Guerra is an attorney with the nonprofit East Bay Community Law Center. She took Gilbert's case on the day sheriff's deputies kicked him out of his apartment.
There was absolutely no verbal notice given to Mr. Gilbert that he was behind on rent. They never came to his door. They never spoke to him on the phone.
Guerra challenged the eviction ruling in court. And earlier this month, a judge tossed out the default eviction judgment and returned the apartment to Gilbert. Guerra says the Oakland Station is refusing to let Gilbert back in, even though they've offered to pay all of his back rent.
Because according to them, what's done cannot be undone. I think the developer needs to accept the rent that we are offering them and let Mr. Gilbert go home.
But the landlord is appealing, and since the sheriff had already enforced the eviction, they argued to the judge he no longer had authority to give the apartment back. The judge agreed. Gilbert's belongings are still in his apartment. Last week, they let him and Guerra inside, but only so they could pick up a few essentials. Guerra is now asking the judge to reconsider and force the Oakland Station to let Gilbert back into his apartment and give him a key. The judge is expected to make a decision at a hearing scheduled for Monday. We reached out to the Oakland Station to get their perspective on the eviction, but they declined to comment.
Yeah, this is especially egregious because the purpose of this developer is to develop affordable housing for seniors. So they're completely not doing their job.
For now, Guerra says Adult Protective Services is paying for Gilbert's motel room, but those funds will soon run out.
If I'm out on the street, I'm not going to survive. So I don't, I'm just scared. My mind is racing. I just don't know what I'm going to do.
Guerra says Adult Protective Services opened an investigation into the family member who was supposed to be paying Gilbert's rent, but the agency wouldn't comment, citing privacy reasons. We were unable to reach that family member for comment. We'll update you next week on how the judge orders. I'm Hilda Gutierrez, NBC Bay Area. We investigate.
So sad. So hold on one second. While my computer is running slow, I hope y'all can hear me. I won't survive. Blind man evicted despite always paying rent on time. He proved he did nothing wrong, but landlord still forced him out. The man believes he may have been a victim of fraud. So a blind man fears for his life after his affordable apartment community evicted him. Gary Gilbert, 67, lived in government-subsidized housing until his apartment complex accused him of not paying rent for over a year. Gilbert, a retired bus driver, has been living at Oakland Station Senior Apartments in Oakland, California since 2021. If I'm not out on the street, I'm not going to survive, Gilbert told local NBC affiliate. I'm just scared. My mind is racing, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. My health problems make it so that I can barely get around. Gilbert told the outlet that he was stunned when deputies arrived at his home this January to remove him from the apartment after the complex issued an eviction notice. I was shocked as hell, Gilbert said. I was shocked and scared and everything all at the same time. The California man claims to have had no knowledge of his eviction notice before the sheriff arrived at his doorstep. He believed his rent was up to date. Due to Gilbert's impaired eyesight, he relies on his family to manage his finances for him and has requested that his landlords verbally communicate important information to him. Adult Protective Services opened up an investigation into Gilbert's case as he's believed he's been the victim of fraud. Given the eviction note was in writing, Gilbert blames his landlords for failing to verbally inform him of the eviction. If they would have followed the procedures like they should have, I would have known something was going on way sooner and I could have rectified it, Gilbert said. I mean, I haven't broken the law or did anything, so I wanted to know what this was about. Gilbert had 7 days to vacate his place after his landlord was awarded a default judgment when the tenant, who didn't know about the notice, failed to show up in court. Once Gilbert was adequately informed of what was going on, he hired Maria Guerrera, an attorney from the nonprofit organization East Bay Community Law Center. Because Ms. Gilbert's disabilities are so severe and because the situation is so particular, I decided to jump on the case, she said. There was absolutely no verbal notice given to Mr. Gilbert that he was behind rent. Guerrera filed a motion to reverse the default judgment against Gilbert and renew his tenancy at the complex. Mr. Gilbert is at risk of permanently losing his affordable home, becoming ineligible for Section 8 due to an eviction on his record, and losing all his personal belongings, she said. The judge granted the request and instructed the complex to restore Gilbert's tenancy. However, 2 weeks after the ruling, Gilbert is still living in a motel, which is being paid for by the Alameda County Social Services Agency. Oakland Specific Associates, the company that owns Oakland Station, fought the judge ruling, arguing the eviction was already enforced, so the judge no longer had the power to give Gilbert his apartment back. The judge agreed, but now Guerrera is pushing back against the decision. Gilbert's funding from the county social services will soon run out. If the problem is not fixed, he'll either end up on the streets or in the shelter. I just want my home back, Gilbert said. Oakland Station did not immediately reply to the U.S. Sun request for more information. It's super sad. This family member is a disgrace. In my opinion, your thoughts?
It is. It's sad because if he already had this on record, that y'all need to tell him his important stuff by word of mouth, and you sending notices that you know he can't read, and he's been there since 2021. That's a very long time for you not to know that all his personal information need to be verbally told to him. And it feels like they're doing some underhanded things to get him out.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding this. And if his family member is over his finances and really let him sit there and not pay the rent for a year, that's a low down family member. You got to be low down, dirty, no good person to know that your family member is legally blind and can't see and can't hardly get around, and you would play around with their housing. That's the lowest of the low.
Thank you, in my opinion. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, good evening again to everyone. You know, much like yesterday, I'm in a mixed bag here because I'm thinking in terms of, okay, I had an uncle who had lost his sight legally, and he had certain family members come in and help him do X, Y, Z. I'm thinking of myself who pays rent, and I can legally see, but what's the process? Because just like I tell you, they're always pushing me out, putting me out for a job. Same thing with this apartment, okay? So I had an issue with my bathtub. And I wanted my bathtub to be replaced with a new tub because it was on the third go around for this reglazing that wasn't very successful.
Mm-hmm.
So it was time for the lease to be renewed. And we were in discussions about this tub of mine being replaced, of which I offered to pay for a new tub, but not the labor. And it was going back and forth and back and forth. So I would not sign the new lease until it was done. So the new lease should have been signed November of 2024. The reglazing of the tub, which because I lost on getting the new tub, wasn't done until the first weekend in the new year 2025. And then at that time, I signed the new lease. So they sent me papers and saying, oh, you got, I think they gave me 15 days for me to get out. And I said, okay. So, this is retaliation as far as I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about my own situation. And I'm saying, even in this situation, and I'm not expecting people to agree with me, I'm just thinking, if my family member, a neighbor, a friend, the bank, whoever it is that has been delegated to pay my rent, I should still be getting some kind of receipt. And if I'm not getting a receipt, I would call the office myself to make sure we were in good order. I'm not just going to assume that because Diva has been delegated to pay my rent that she's doing so. The same way I would pay my utility bill or a heating bill or a gas bill or anything. There has to be some kind of follow-up that lets me know that I'm in good shape. We're in good order. The same way, whatever his stream of income is, the same way he would know if that money came in, he would know that that money went out. So I'm thinking, how did he give the family member the money for the rent? Was it cash? Did they go to the bank to get? I'm trying to be fair and process what this is, because there still should be a receipt of some type that you get or a follow-up you do at the end of the month or the beginning of the month and saying, did you receive my rent payment? Even when they're not calling you. Or as you asked them to call you, you also had the responsibility to call yourself. And now I see they still have his things in an apartment that they claim is not his. Why are you holding his things? I'm very confused by that. You were paid the back rent. You won back the apartment, but you're still holding his items. Why? So I don't know what's going on in here. I know landlords can be difficult, but there's a lot here that I'm not understanding. And then he doesn't have money to stay in the hotel. So I'm at a loss. And he did not mention who this family member is. He just said who the family member is. If I gave a family member my rent money for a year and they didn't send it in as they said, I'm filing a complaint with the police department. I'm not going to just say, oh, I was a victim. No, I'm filing a complaint because I've been robbed. So there's a lot missing here, and I'll wait for more. I'm done.
Savannah, your thoughts?
I'm going to have to agree with Felicia here. It seems like there are some parts of this story that are either confusing or I didn't catch or not mentioned, because did he not, even if this family member was in charge of his finances, there should have been other family members. I know my sister's in charge of my brother, but we're still all involved in some of the decisions that he makes or she makes for him. And I'm just wondering why other family members weren't concerned about his well-being, just because, Aunt Sharon is in charge of his finances, someone else should have been checking up on him, making sure that things are in order. And so I'm confused by that. And this is a form of elder abuse and exploitation as well. So it seems like there's some things that maybe I didn't catch. I need to go back and read the story, or just were not mentioned, because one person can't be the single point of failure in this. If the landlords, someone should have cared and known that this man was blind, and they should have still made sure that he had food, his utilities were on, he had proper clothing. It's just, there's so much that's missing out from this story. And I'm just wondering, we don't get to choose who our family is or who our family members are. We can, along the course of our life, exclude who doesn't mean us well. But this is, I don't know, low. It's one of the lowest stories I think we've had, where a family member is going to exploit a blind person, a blind elder. It is just wrong on so many levels. So I'm
All right, you have put yourself on mute, Savannah. So let me just add some things of my thought process here. You got parents that do their kids dirty. We did a story last week where the mother left her 3 kids in the house for years by themselves. So it's not far-fetched to me that a family member, first of all, for me, a lot of people say they're going to help till you really need help. Then when you really need help, people are hemming and hawing, and you can't find nobody to help you. You can't find a couch to stay on, a place to stay at, or whatever. So this family member was allegedly stepping in to help. The problem I have though with the complex, and not that this is not just your regular complex. This is a complex for like the disabled and the elderly, right? So with that being said, you got a different level of responsibility. If you ask me, if the man clearly communicated that if something important happens, come talk to me because I can't read nothing, then I don't know. I feel like it's a failure on their part too. But also, if you have a tenant that has been there since 2021, and then in 2024, he doesn't pay his rent for the whole year, you don't think to go knock on the door and see, like, are you okay? Because all this, unless the backstory is the other years he was being sketchy, I don't know. It's just a lot of failures all around the board. But now you have an agency saying, okay, there's a clear mix-up here. We're going to pay all the back rent, and still they're like, no, we don't want him back. It is some missing pieces, but what's clear to me is either way, I feel like this family member did him dirty. Listen, I know from own personal experience where people have gone in and taken advantage of money and accounts and all of that. It's a shame what family members will do. It's dreadful, especially when it comes to money. So nobody cared. The family member did him dirty, and probably the family member, I don't know. Sometimes a lot of these houses like that, including in your rent, is the lights and whatever else the case may be. I don't know, but it's sad no matter how you look at it, in my opinion. Katrina, your thoughts?
I was just thinking the same thing too, Diva, because by him being blind or whatsoever, or him having that disability, I wish he would have just put his stuff on auto pay, and the building could have got there. He could have got his month. Made sure he got his payments monthly. You know what I'm saying? So I would thought that he would have put it on auto pay, and when they do stay in those buildings and stuff like that, the electricity and everything is included. They just pay their monthly rent, and everything is included. I wish he would have, set it up for his monthly auto pay, and everything else he needed, just set your bills up on auto pay, because if you got that disability and you can't see in whatsoever, and by him having that disability, he had to have somebody over his check because they would consider him as not being capable of taking care of himself. So, but if I was him, I would have set it up on auto pay, but I guess he was trusting the family member, not knowing that the family member was stabbing him in the back and he didn't even know it. And like you said, they waited a whole year, and then now you saying that he ain't been paying his rent, and the people paid the rent, and he still can't go in and get his stuff. Why can't he go in there and get his stuff? And you got to say he got a certain amount of minutes to get his stuff. Normally, when they put you out, they put everything out on the street.
Yeah.
So why he can't go in there and get his things? This is little. Yeah, this is very sketchy. This is very, very sketchy because if these people have paid his back rent and whatsoever, and they don't want to let him back in. Now I can see them. Um, Oh, I'm sorry. I could see them letting him back in, and if he don't pay within, give him like a timeline for 6 months. If you don't pay your rent on time for 6 months, we're gonna kick you out or whatsoever. But for you not to let him get his stuff, what's the deal? I ain't never seen nobody to kick somebody out and keep they stuff inside their apartment. That don't even sound right. Most time when you get evicted, the sheriff coming in and emptying out your whole place. So I don't. Something ain't right with this story, and
It's
especially
something
these
right.
folks in.
Shady all
Yeah,
around. Yeah.
yeah, 'cause these people ain't paid for your rent and stuff, and you still holding my stuff hostage. So I should be suing you for holding my stuff hostage, and I can't get it. You giving me a time limit to go in and get some stuff that I need to get up out of there. Something ain't right with this. This is weird. I'm glad he got a lawyer. I hope she do what she got to do for him. I wish him the best, but something is missing because there's no possible way you can hold my stuff and you ain't evicting me up out of your building. Something ain't right. It just ain't right, and I just hope he get whatever he needs to move on with his life. And they trying to protect the privacy of the person that stole his money, but he wasn't protecting that person, so why he should be protected? He should be blasted out so people would know. Don't trust him giving you up their money because he's not trustworthy. But that's all I got, Diva.
And what I'm starting to think in my head too. I wonder if somebody in that the office that collects the rent was in on the scam or the scheme with the family member. Something.
Yeah,
'Cause
they can
why
do
are
that
they
too because
holding his
this
stuff?
woman. I'm sorry. Yeah, they can do that too because I know this where my cousin them stay out in this apartment complex. It takes regular rent and Social Security and income based. And this woman was stealing all the money. And so my cousin called me and said, "Did you pay my rent?" I'm like, I paid your rent. I always keep receipts. So she gonna tell well, they fired the other lady because she done took all the money. But I guess when they went back and looked at the books, they seen that these people wasn't getting paid. That they was paying, but she had stole all the money. So when they went back and looked at the books, she was saying that she didn't get his money orders and whatsoever. But I always keep the money orders in an envelope, and I sent them down there to him, and he turned it in. And she seen that she said, because I never had a problem with him before, but the lady was stealing the money. So you might be right. She was stealing the money. She was cashing the money orders. She was stealing the money. So you might be right, Diva. She might was stealing that money at that complex. That's the reason why it took them a year for them to realize that this man wasn't paying his rent. But
And
either way,
that they holding his stuff. So Lisa said,
exactly.
Wendy Williams, you become disabled or in jail, Diddy, and your bank account is open season. Yeah, it's a shame. Tay, your thoughts?
It's just a family member just being greedy and being selfish right there. You know your family member, the guy who had ability, he need that. He need that money. And we see how many months that he was behind his rent right there. You just don't care about your family member. You care about yourself. And tell that Diva, he probably steal and then spend on him too. I'm talking about the family member that who stole the money and spent on him and his family right there. And that's a shame right there. That's why I always say, keep your friends close, but keep your enemy closer. That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
Like who was it? Katrina said it has to be someone from that office. What you mean after he got an initial judicial decision that he could return to his apartment? What you mean he can't return to his apartment when his stuff is in there? So that tells me someone in the office is in cahoots with that family. I hope that lawyer is being a pit bull beyond a 10 power, however high that can go, on his behalf, and seeing that he can get back into his home, and that whoever is doing wrong towards him is found out and brought down. Period. That's it.
Thank you, Julius. I appreciate you. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll into the next story. And the next.
Can I just add something here?
Yeah.
The man mentioned, or the attorney, that he gets Section 8 housing. I don't know about the West Coast. I don't know about most states. But I know Section 8 is federal government. And I know here in New York City, there's something called a social worker that works with people who are disabled, who need assistance, particularly when you're getting a subsidy like Section 8. So they were getting part of that rent for sure, and not the other part. And there needs to be some documentation. I think this was his biggest problem. How you gave the money. Did you transfer the same amount every month? What did you do? And not for nothing, but when you get mail and you can't read it, traditionally, because I don't know about the West Coast, there's somebody reading your mail. So he didn't read his mail for a whole year.
He couldn't.
And he doesn't have anybody that comes in to read his mail. He don't go nowhere to have his mail read. Is that what you're telling me?
The man has multiple disabilities. And the thing is, I wish people were more helpful, but I read too many stories here where people are like, I'm begging for help, I can't get help or whatever. So I guess that's why it's not that far-fetched for me that this man couldn't get the help and he thought his family member was really helping him.
All right, Diva. I'm going to accept that for now. I'm still saying that you pick up the phone and you call the office every 3 months, make sure you're in good shape. I'm sorry this happened to him. And they're holding his things, which is, I think they're trying to claim abandonment just to take his stuff. Looks like he has a very nice home there. And I'm troubled by that. So there's a lot here that's just not adding up for me.
E, you're in the building. I don't know if you want to say something on this story. I want to wait till the next story.
My apologies. I missed it. I missed that.
No
problem. We can go to the next one.
Yeah, sure. All right. So the next story is these Texas middle schoolers. One decides to bring in a needle, and it's going to be tattoo day, and a whole bunch of teachers just stood around and watched. Let me make sure I go to the right story here. So Texas middle schoolers shared needle during mass classroom tattoo sessions in front of oblivious teachers. This is just dreadful. Let me see if I could play this.
Underway at a North Texas middle school after students were caught giving each other tattoos inside a classroom.
Now, this happened at Travis Intermediate in Greenville ISD, 50 miles northeast of Dallas. And TC joins us in studio with the details. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Multiple teachers at Travis Intermediate have been suspended over this ordeal. Now, one mother received a phone call from the school's nurse Tuesday urging her to get lab work on her 6th grade son. Scabs from tattoos can be seen on his arm reading "I Heart the Lord" and "JC." Well, Ashley Armstrong says test results for her son came back negative for any diseases. She said she did punish her son, but she still wants answers from the school district.
He got punishment for it. He got punished for it. He knows better. He shouldn't have done it in the first place. How is it that these kids were getting these tattoos in class and not one teacher noticed it?
Well, Greenville ISD released a statement confirming students gave each other tattoos using the same needle. The district also says it is working with law enforcement to identify all students involved in the situation. Now, the district did not share how many students were involved or how a needle made it into the school, and it's unclear how many teachers have been suspended or if they knew students were giving each other tattoos. For Good Day, I'm Ticia Muzinga.
There is an investigation underway at a North Texas middle school after.
So a Texas middle school has passed around a shared needle and participated in mass tattooing sessions in classrooms while their oblivious teachers carried on with their lessons, leaving parents outraged and worried this week. The youngsters reportedly used temporary ink to carve one another's bodies with the shared needle Tuesday, official says, igniting concerns that they may have also injected themselves with disease. How is this that kids are getting tattoos in class and not one teacher noticed it? Irate mother Ashley Armstrong fumed to Fox 4 News. Armstrong's 11-year-old son Jordan used the dirty needle to scrape "I Heart My Lord" across his entire forearm and JC on his hand on Tuesday while he was inside the classroom at Travis Intermediate in Greenville, roughly 50 miles northeast of Dallas. Jordan claimed one boy approached him and offered to tattoo him. That needle was then shared several times from one class to another class, Armstrong told the outlet. The nurse called Armstrong to notify her of the alarming incident and warned her to get blood work done immediately. Fortunately, the test came back negative for any diseases. Armstrong lectured Jordan, saying that he knows better, but questioned how teachers allowed the underage tattoo session to go as far as it did. It's with the needle, so I don't care if it's temporary ink or not, Armstrong said. This can affect them, seriously affect them. I'm not letting up on any of that. Greensville ISD on Thursday confirmed the bizarre debacle, stating that it has suspended several teachers assigned to the classrooms where the incidents occurred as an investigation is underway. Greenville ISD is aware of the incident at Travis Intermediate School where the students gave each other tattoos using temporary ink and the same needle, the district said in a statement. It's not clear how many teachers were suspended or if they knew the tattooing was taking place. The district did not say how the needle entered the school. It is also unclear how many students were involved in the tattooing sessions. Though Armstrong said more than a dozen parents have reached out to her to say their children were inked. Oh. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Lord Jesus. So an intermediate school usually runs from like 3rd to the 5th grade. So these are some young kids at that. For the life of me, you can't tell me you didn't see them passing around ink and a needle. And you're not telling me these kids, when they was sticking themselves with a needle, they wasn't saying something.
Ouch, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For the life of me, you know what? I would have a whole case if I get a phone call and my children got ink on them. I'm gonna have a whole case because I'm gonna wear everybody out at their school. They're gonna have to call Jefferson County real quick. I'm telling you, this is so neglectful for teachers to sit here, and I know they had to see it. They just didn't give a damn. And for that, they don't need to be on suspension. They need to be fired and they need to be in jail. Because now you neglecting my kids that you're supposed to be teaching. I hope these mamas don't let up on these teachers, and I hope that they get justice.
Thank you. In my opinion, Felicia, your thoughts?
This is a sad situation, but maybe this will galvanize the parents to organize and really find out what's going on in that school. Something so active as that and in your face like that, and you do nothing. I think there's great apathy there in that classroom, and those teachers are just burnt out and don't care. And these children, hopefully they all were negative in that child's skin will heal up and those markings will be gone soon. I'm done.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts? I took you down for a minute, Felicia.
This is so scary.
I took you down, Felicia. Your camera's on. Okay.
Okay. This is so scary on so many levels, Diva. So these children were able to pass the tattoo needle and ink from classroom to classroom. They still don't know how many um, got shared the needle. And my fear is, and I agree, this is absolute neglect and a whole bunch of I don't care, not my problem, from the adults and the ones who were supposed to be supervising the children. You know, what if they pass other items in the school? Someone brings something in the school and they also pass it, and the teachers are not paying attention. It is so scary now. And again, these are teachers who probably weren't vetted, burnt out, just tired, and no support from school districts. Um, and our schools are being cut from funding as well. So it's just scary. It is absolutely scary. These parents do need to come together, get on the school board's neck, and be up in their offices Monday morning, knocking on doors, talking to BOE. And it's just scary. And I hope these children didn't, spread something from one another to by sharing a needle. It's sad. It is absolutely sad.
Thank you. I think the school does know how many students are involved. I think they don't want to say. That's just my opinion. My screen shifted a little bit. Tay, your thoughts?
Where's the security at? To search in the book bag right there, because it's dangerous to bring that right there in school. What if they hurt somebody? Teachers, they don't care about the students at all. This is supposed to be teaching the kids right to wrong right there. But it went down right here. This is sad right here. And this is scary right here. That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
You mean to tell me that the instructor in a classroom didn't have the basic skill to just scam the room? Scam just as you look at as you teach the lesson, you just scamming just to see if something is suspicious. You mean to tell me you didn't like? Let me just look out real quick. Incompetence.
Katrina, your thoughts?
The kids probably did it in the bathroom. I'm not giving the teachers a break either, but I'm just saying they probably did
They
it
did
in
it
the
in the
bathroom.
classroom. They did it in the classroom.
They did it in the classroom. All I can say is when you put the kids, they give them more authority than the teachers. If the teachers do or say anything they're not supposed to say, they're fired. And all that years of college is gone down the drain because they've taken out the strict rules in these in class. They're taking out the strict rules in these schools, so the kids have more authority than the teacher has now. And it's a sad situation, and they don't get paid what they're supposed to get paid. And I'm not saying no teacher should allow this to happen. They're not monitoring, they're not doing this. How many kids are in this classroom that you can't see that these kids are getting tattoos? And the thing of it is, they got them tested after they found out, but they're gonna have to keep getting them kids tested within every 3 to 6 months because some diseases do not show up at that moment. It takes time to fester. So they need to get those kids tested at least every 3 to 6 months to make sure that they don't have anything. Because sometimes when you go take a test at that point, the test gonna come up negative. But then again, it'll come up positive on later on down the road. So if I was the parents, I would take my child every 3 months, every 6 months, or whatsoever until I'm sure that there's nothing in their blood system, because you don't know what each one of those kids had to pass along to somebody else. And you're right, that's neglect from the teachers. But the teacher have lost so many rules to it's pathetic. But anyway, I hope the kids is okay. Um, the parents stay on the school. Like Felicia said, maybe they're showing awareness to the school that they got a problem. And maybe that'll open up their eyes. Maybe that'll get people to come together and saying, why this happening in school? What's going on? What the grades look like? What's this? What's that? But it's sad all the way around. I feel sorry for these kids in these schools sometimes. But that's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. E, your thoughts?
Well, I guess I will come in on this story. How are you, Diva?
Hey.
How do I want to begin? So I see this a little bit differently. In 2023, the brilliant Texas governor signed the Texas Education Bill to give parents access to course curriculum, allow parents to solely determine if their kids should repeat a grade level. Think about that, because that's not just in Texas. That's all over the place. Only parents can determine if a child can repeat the grade level. It's pretty shocking. And also, that bill that the governor signed removes inappropriate books from school, quote unquote. And of course, they wanted to restrict the pronouns and what have you, because that's been the propaganda. If we get rid of the trans, and then if we put the Bibles in the schools, that'll fix everything. Because remember, they want to do prayer in school. And I believe we talked about that here, if I'm not mistaken. The Texas governor was so concerned with the Black history books and the text about diversity, they haven't done anything about the conduct and safety. 70% of the kids at this school are at risk of dropping out. And this is according to their own data, their own website, because I went to the school's website and it's right there. 92% are economically disadvantaged. And so we're talking about free and reduced lunch. We're talking about kids who we don't know what their home life is like. And 57% have limited English proficiency. I have my retainers in. And did I mention this is a Black school? 79% of the student body is Black. So this follows the school to prison pipeline agenda that we have been seeing across the country. And I can say this, and I will say it as a concerned mom. It's more schools closing across the country and more prisons being open. And only 2.3% of these kids at this school are coded as talented and gifted. So as Felicia says often, this is a failing school. Education is not prized. And then this Black woman gets on television, bless her heart, and says, he knows better. Does he? Your child is the one sitting there with this stuff on his hand and his arm. I love JC, Jesus Christ. I mean, we're going to see a lot more of that as we begin to infuse this spiritual agenda of putting these Bibles in the classroom and doing prayer. These kids don't know what they're doing yet. And so to shove this religious propaganda down their throat, it's going to come with some backlash. But I agree with what most people said. The teachers, they had these big classes and the kids aren't learning. We already know that the school is high risk. So I think that the parents should take some ownership in the culture of this school. And if you have the ability, remove them and send them somewhere else, because they've been talking about these vouchers where they want you to be able to send your school. Listen, you have to do something, because the culture of this school is in trouble.
Yeah. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Before I can even I'll say this. in a lot of schools, there's some craziness going on lately. There's teachers sleeping with the kids. There's it's a mess. But this right here, needles in the school, they're being passed around, and in my opinion, you triggered my brain. Not one kid was saying, ouch, nothing. No, a lot of them kids was impacted by that one needle on one day, and this school does need to be sued. Because you cannot tell me, at some point somebody found out something because the nurse called the mom. So either later on or a little bit later, something, he said hand hurting, something hurting, and they ended up going to the school nurse. It's a hot, nasty mess. Can't even trust when you send your kid to the school. I'm rolling into the last story. And the last story, and y'all know from the beginning, when this thing first went down, I was concerned about the kids, all the kids in the Diddy situation. And this story is sad to me because the kids don't know nothing but what they doing. But I need them to wake up quick. I need somebody to step in and help these kids wake up. There is not a money tree outside their house. There's not an endless bucket of money. Diddy got about 10 lawyers. Some fighting these civil cases, others fighting the criminal cases. And then I know they got to be top tier. And when I heard, and Alex Spiro is not his lawyer, but when I heard Alex Spiro gets $3,000 per hour, good googly mouth, what are Diddy lawyers getting? And he has lawyers. And the kids are out there private jetting and carrying on. Somebody got to go over there and wake them up. They're going to be living next to Diva. So Diddy kids take lavish vacations, treat themselves to elaborate shopping sprees as music mogul is stuck in jail. So when Diddy's away, his kids will play. Sean Diddy Combs' 6 eldest children have been living big and using their famous papa's money to do it. A source close to the embattled music mogul in the circle told the Post. As Combs awaits the start of his May 5th federal criminal trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, his influencer offspring has been taking lavish island vacations and extravagant shopping sprees, both here and abroad, said the source. They want to look like ballers and project this image on Instagram and TikTok, the source explained. But that's daddy's money. I mean, maybe he gave them permission to spend it, but I doubt it. Since he's got all these people suing him. Look at the twins. They gorgeous, looking like their mama. Since Combs' arrest last September, his private jet gotten a lot of use, making trips to California, Hawaii, Texas, Florida, and several other states, as well as Mexico, Italy, India, Ireland, Canada, and St. Martin, according to the flight data reviewed by the Post. Jet fuel ain't cheap, said the source. Every other day, these kids are getting on Puff Jeff, and every time they do it, it costs them thousands just for the effing fuel. Quincy 33, Justin 31, Christian 26, Chance 19, and 18-year-old twins Delilah and Jesse are apparently not shy about sharing their luxury adventures on social media. On his Instagram, Kristen recently shared a video of him playing on an ocean beach with the youngest of the Combs' 7 kids, Little Love, 2. Pictures show him shopping for diamond-encrusted watches and designer jackets at luxury vintage clothing store. What goes around comes around. And it's in as in an SUV carrying shopping bags from the high-end shops. Other pics show him with his girlfriend Raven Tracy riding camels in Mexico. On her account, there are snaps showing Combs a massive diamond chain around his neck and Tracy at the spa, along with pics of Tracy lounging on a yacht. Quincy also enjoyed some fun in the sun, while Chance recently rode horses along a sandy beach following a trip to the amusement park. The twins last month posted photos from their trip to St. Bart's wearing matching Christian Dior bikinis aboard a dark blue yacht. The source told the Post, in addition to the designer clothing and tropical vacations, they've been giving away cash to friends. Oh my gosh. When the cat's away, what do the mice do? The source continued. With him waiting in jail for his trial, these kids are doing whatever. Forbes last year estimated Diddy's net worth at around $400 million, down from $740 million he was worth in 2019. After his arrest, radio programmers quickly removed Diddy's tunes from their playlist, Billboard reported. His royalty payments, the source said, will likely take a hit as a result. They're acting like he's been convicted already or he's dead, like he ain't coming back. That's the entitlement of these younger folks. If the cat ever comes back out, those mice are effed, added the source. Rest for Diddy and his kids did not return any calls. Oh, the kids are spending the cash. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Well, he got it from taking it from everybody else and not paying them. So I guess they can go ahead and steal the money from him. He done stole it from everybody else. And everything that they don't steal, he'll probably have to pay it out to all these victims he got. That's all, Diva.
Tay, your thoughts?
I'm still gonna pray for those girls because Lord have mercy, he still got some financial somewhere for them to spend the money like that. Those kids, they used to this lifestyle right here. You know, they live in a big mansion and all that stuff right there. That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
They are carrying on like nothing is wrong. That's what they doing. That's how they cope. Well, if it works for them, it works for them. I'm back to minding my business.
Savannah?
These kids are just doing what they're accustomed to, living with no ends to the finances, no accountability, not giving a care for what their father's going through, and not thinking about that some of these social media postings can be used against their father, not thinking that the finances that they're spending can be used for the legal defense of their father. And it's going to be a large fall from grace. But Puffy never set these kids up to have regular 9-to-5s or just be regular everyday citizens. They're doing what they have grown up to do, living the lifestyle. They know nothing else but this. So, and it's going to end up biting them in the tail in the long run. And there's going to come a day when they're going to be a regular citizen, and it's going to be hard for these kids because they don't know anything else. This is the lifestyle that their father had them living in, had them accustomed to. And although the optics look horrible right now, being what their father and grandmother are going through, it has nothing, there's no attachment to that. They have no care. So I'm not surprised. I've heard about the two young ladies, the two young girls. That's sad, but I knew that the boys were out here still doing what they have always done. They're in the clubs, popping bottles, still with women. Christian still doing his thing, running girls. So it's going to be bad for Diddy because they're going to be using this against him, and when it comes to trial.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Obviously, this is what Diddy want them to do because he has the right to say to cut off that money. So if they're doing it, he allowing it. Maybe he told them go live your life because he know he's probably gonna be stuck in there. Not saying that he would, but I'm just saying because he has the right and the authority to stop them from spending that money or using that jet that way. So if they're doing it like that, he knows it, and it's all well to him. They've been doing this forever. He shocked. What he said, won't stop, can't stop. So them kids won't stop, can't stop. So they flying everywhere. And when they can take a regular plane, but they're not used to taking regular planes. So you using all that fuel just to fly from Florida to Texas. Girl, please. But the kids said, won't stop, can't stop. And they partying. That's all I got, Diva.
All righty. E, your thoughts?
Oh, this is an easy one. You know, people, your children are a reflection of their upbringing, good, bad, or indifferent. Your children are a reflection of their upbringing. So they're only reflecting back everything that was poured into them by both of their parents and their grandparents. So I don't think that Diddy will be disappointed because this is how he raised them. But, you know, I was only thrown off because you keep saying, oh, I was worried about the kids. And I was waiting for you to tell me about the kids. Everybody who you mentioned is over 18 years old. Quincy is 33, Justin is 31, Christian is 26, Chance is 19, the twins are 18. I mean, they live in their hip hop dreams. That's what hip hop is. It's a fantasy. You live life like a movie. I feel like they are doing everything that they were designed to do. Choo-choo.
E, I mean, Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, I say God bless the children. Let them spend the money, child. Spend it. Do what you were raised to do. Live that lavish life. Get on the jet. Get on the plane. I don't even know. How much were those bathing suits? $2,000 a piece? That's what you're supposed to do. That's how your mother raised you and your father raised you. That's what you know, and that's what you do best. I ain't worried about whether or not Mr. Combs ends up with some money or not. And Mike Opinion said he done stole the money, beat the money, took everybody else's money. So if there's none left, it's none left. Like they say, all money ain't good money. I'm done.
Ooh. Well, listen, people. Don't stop, won't stop, can't stop, whatever he said. Yikes. Listen, people. I appreciate y'all. Happy Saturday. Thanks for coming through and spending time with me. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, do me a favor. Hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do not cheat the D-Worries.